Gil Luria. Gil, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so Alphabet, Microsoft, and Meta all reported earnings yesterday. What are your biggest takeaways?
They are doing phenomenally well, and a lot of the success is driven by AI. These are the companies that are really generating value from that. Microsoft and Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud have all the customers, and those customers want more AI compute capacity, more than those companies even have right now. So that's why Microsoft Azure accelerated growth to 39%. That's a $75 billion business growing 39%. Google Cloud accelerated to 34%. Also a very big business growing very fast. On the ad side, Google accelerated to 15%. Meta accelerated from 22 to 25%. And a lot of that is because AI is making their platforms better. They're able to serve more ads and serve better ads that people are more likely to want in their feed. So these companies are doing well, which they are turning around to a lot more data center build out, which is, there's some reaction to that today, is the numbers are getting so big, but these companies are justifying that with their accelerating growth.
And I understand that you remain bullish on Meta and Microsoft. Why is that?
Because that growth is still accelerating, it's still very high. They are generating tremendous amount of value from their AI investments. Microsoft is going to do well in a wide range of scenarios. Even if AI is just somewhat helpful, Microsoft's going to do well. If AI becomes hugely successful, Microsoft's going to do even better. Meta is betting a lot on AI, and I would never bet against Mr. Zuckerberg. He has been able to stay at the forefront of technology, and he is doubling down hard on AI, and we think that he's very likely to be successful there.
Shares of Alphabet popped 5% after they reported their earnings, yet you still maintain a neutral rating. Why is that?
Because their core business is the one that we worry about most within the mega caps. Let's not forget, right now, they just share the digital advertising market with Meta and a little bit with ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok. But OpenAI is now getting so much attention, so much usage. At some point, OpenAI is going to turn on its advertising, and that's going to take share away from those other participants, and mostly from Google, because most of the advertising budget that will start getting allocated to ChatGPT will be at the expense of Google search. That hasn't happened yet, which is why Google's still doing well, but it's still something we're looking out for even in the next 12 months.
Gil, Apple and Amazon are reporting after the bell today. What questions are you hoping will be answered?
So for Amazon, AWS growth has to accelerate. Given how fast Azure and Google Cloud are growing and how those have accelerated the last couple of quarters, AWS can't keep growing at those same lower rates and continue to make a case that they're viable. They're the largest cloud provider, but if they're not accelerating as well, that means there's an even bigger share shift towards Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud. So we'll be looking for that to go at least 20% to think that AWS is still in the game. And then for Apple, expectations are very high for this iPhone upgrade cycle. We're going to get some early hints about how the season is going for them, but expectations are very high. The stock's up a lot. So there's going to be some concern if this isn't a very big upgrade cycle around the iPhone 17. There's a lot of mixed signals. We'll find out this afternoon.
All right, and Nvidia just hit a $5 trillion market cap. What are your takeaways from that?
Well, the biggest takeaway from last night is we are accelerating the data center build out. If we thought that we're putting big investment into it before, we heard yesterday from all three that they're increasing their CapEx, increasing the CapEx budget for next year, and they're still almost entirely buying those chips from Nvidia. Nvidia just this week talked about having $500 billion of combined sales between Blackwell and Rubin. That's not even in estimates yet because we're not sure exactly what quarters that falls in. But that just means that even from these very large numbers that Nvidia has been able to produce, we're going even higher as they continue to be the dominant player in the data center build out. They're capturing most of the value.
All right, any closing thoughts in our last 20 seconds?
Yes, AI is becoming increasingly useful, and these companies are building out around that to make sure we all have the compute we need to do the work we want to do with those AI tools.